Speaking of LSU basketball, Will Wade will be here in an hour, but guard Charles Manning Jr. announced Thursday afternoon that he'd be returning to Baton Rouge for his senior season. Unfortunately, Manning Jr. missed 12 games this past season due to foot fracture injuries that required surgeries to both of his feet. We'll ask Coach Wade about Manning going into his final season coming up here at 8 a.m. Sharif O'Neal joined us on Off the Bench yesterday. Told us why he chose LSU through this transfer process.
When I got there, I just immediately felt like I was at home. You know, a lot of the LSU fans and the staff and the players, they all just treated me like I've been there for a very long time, even though that was one of my few times visiting Louisiana. I've only been to Louisiana a few times. That was like my third or fourth time, and I felt like I was home. Trendon was my host on the visit, so he did a great job. And I've known Trendon for a long time, and then he was telling me, he's like, "This is the place for you." Telling me that I should have gone here. I've known Javante for a long time. His people were telling me that I should have started off at LSU. But I mean, I'm glad I'm there now. I'm glad everything worked out, and I'm here now.
Yeah, ton of fun sitting down with Sharif O'Neal. Really excited to hear what Coach Wade has to say about O'Neal and the rest of that class today. Also want to hear, so the number one overall recruit is going the G League route.
Yeah.
Kind of want to pick Will Wade's brain on, like, how do you recruit these guys and make sure that you're not wasting time where you can be recruiting a guy the entire time, then all of a sudden he's like, well, actually, I'm going to go pro. So a lot to get into with LSU men's coach Will Wade today.
And did you see this? After we were off the air yesterday, Shaq's son committed to LSU earlier in the week. Yesterday, his daughter committed to the LSU basketball team. I'll get you the information on all of what happened with Shaq's daughter yesterday, but it was a surprise to everybody. She's from Los Angeles. As Sharif was telling the story, I don't think a lot of people knew this, but that Kobe Bryant and Gigi were on the way to play Shaq's daughter the morning that the helicopter crashed in
I didn't know that.
Southern California, as Sharif was telling the story here yesterday on Off the Bench. If you missed the entire conversation, it's on YouTube. You can subscribe there and check out what's going on with our content on YouTube, but that full conversation with Sharif O'Neal is there as well. Looking forward to Sunday night as the docuseries The Last Dance will debut. The Chicago Bulls' last championship run of 1998. Michael Jordan sat down for a rare interview. He sat down with Robin Roberts on Good Morning America and described that last season.
Well, it was a trying year. We all were trying to enjoy that year, knowing that it was coming to an end. I was hoping that the beginning of the season, it basically started when Jerry Krause told Phil that, he can go 82-0 and he would never get the chance to come back. Knowing that I married myself to him, obviously, and if he wasn't going to be a coach, then, obviously I wasn't going to play. So Phil started off the year by saying this is the last dance, and we played it that way. So mentally it just it tugged at you throughout the course of the year, but that this had to come to an end. But it also centered our focus to making sure we end it right. So, I mean, as sad as it sounded at the beginning of the year, we tried to rejoice and enjoy the year and finish it off the right way.
I know that I'm pretty excited, Jordy. I'm not even really a Bulls fan. In fact, I was probably on the opposite side of things growing up as a fan of the Mailman. Shout out to my guy, Karl Malone. Love those Jazz teams. You and Rivers just got to be beside yourself for Sunday.
Giddy, like a school kid. Jordan was talking about the point in which he went from Mike Jordan to Michael Jordan, and it actually happened in the state of Louisiana.
Well, up until that point, no one knew who I was. I was a college kid, other than the university. But outside the university, I was just known as Mike Jordan. And when I hit that shot, my whole name became Michael Jordan, and I think it resonated with a lot of people outside of UNC. So I mean, and I just started piling on that name itself from the successes that I endured throughout the rest of my career. It wasn't about Michael. It wasn't about Mike. It was more about Michael. Yeah.
The Last Dance, Sunday night, the unedited version on ESPN. The version for the kids on ESPN2 debuts on Sunday night on ESPN. College sports Vice President Mike Pence had a conference call with College Football Playoff Management Committee this week to discuss the impact of the coronavirus pandemic on college athletics. One conclusion drawn by those on the call, because the message to Pence from that group was clear: there will be no college football until students are allowed on campus. Our players are students. If we're not in college, we're not having contests, said Big 12 Commissioner Bob Bowlsby on the call. Part of the call had to do with differentiating college sports from the professional leagues. Pro athletes can collectively bargain their working conditions in the return to play. College athletes cannot. In fact, the liability of bringing back college sports too soon and exposing college athletes to infection could be significant. Yeah. NFL news: Denver Broncos Pro Bowl linebacker Von Miller has tested positive for the COVID-19. He told 9 News in Denver on Thursday in a statement. The Broncos said Miller went public with his diagnosis to emphasize that anyone can be afflicted with the virus, and he remains under the care of the team's doctors. Did Von Miller scoop Jay Glazer?
I know. I was just about to say, what is Von doing, dude? You gotta tease this thing out. You gotta make it last 24 hours.
Amira O'Neal, who is the daughter of Shaquille O'Neal, an NBA legend, Shaq, and the brother of Sharif O'Neal, is Shaq's daughter, who committed to Nikki Caldwell in the LSU basketball program on Thursday. So both Sharif O'Neal and Mimi, as she goes by, Mimi O'Neal, are committed to the LSU
Welcome
basketball
home.
program.
Come on home. That's right. Let's go.
Those are your headlines. What's trending here on Off the Bench.